Hey everyone, so I wanted to do a video on St. John's wort species here in North America today. I've been trying to do this video for a while, but 4 kids, homeschooling, catastrophe traveling, running businesses, and reconstructing a house and shops kept me a little busy. So I have 2 species here that I use on my property. One is this lovely species here, and I'll try to get some more close-ups here in a minute, but this is Hypericum perforatum, and this one is not native to North America. This is from across the pond there in Europe. And our native species, let's see, I just picked an example from over my bed there. Our native species is Hypericum punctatum, or spotted St. John's wort. Now, the difference between these two, again, not native. This one grows taller. Here we go. It's like a tongue twister for me. I'm like Hypericum perforatum, Hypericum punctatum. So I'll just say perforatum punctatum. That's easier for me. So perforatum grows taller. It has slightly larger flowers, and the biggest telltale that you can really tell is you won't see it while I'm filming probably, but it has little pinholes all up and down throughout the leaf, little pinholes that go all the way through, and when you look up through the sun, you can see light through them. And both species have a round stem, opposite leaves, which means the leaves come off one here on perfectly opposite sides of this stem. And the punctatum, our native species, does not have pinholes through the leaf. It has tiny black dots full of good medicine. I wish this would. Okay, waste of time. Those probably look the same to you. But this one has tiny black dots, where instead there would be pinholes on this side. This one has tiny black dots full of hypericin. And hypericin is what both of these species contain. That is your active constituent in the plant that we're after. There are plenty of St. John's wort species that do not really contain enough or any hypericin, so they're not used for medicine. In fact, just today I found a third species. Let's see, I picked it. Oh, right here. I found a third species, and I don't know what it is, but it has itty bitty little flowers. Those are the flowers. Same setup, the opposite leaves, round stem, but the leaves are more grooved. They have deeper veins on the back and shorter leaves overall. So I will identify this little guy because I just came upon it just when I was about to come do the video. And it's not one that I've used or seen, so we'll see what that is. But, I got my favorite little chicken here. She's always helping me with my video. She's pecking on my feet, so if you see me looking down going, it's because she's pecking my toes. Aren't you? She's my little Americana. She lays our green eggs for us. Our green eggs. And, so that's, I'm coming back. So that's how you would identify this. Now also, the perforatum really enjoys sunny areas, and it will grow in big patches, especially well-established plants. Big patches in the sun, along the roadsides, in open fields, and on wood edges. Where our punctatum, our native ones, see, I'm like deep in the Smoky Mountains. I live in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. We live in the Smoky Mountains, which is part of the Blue Ridge and the Appalachian Range. So it's thick woodlands. And I'll be hiking really deep in the woods, and you'll actually see this species growing in deep shade under heavy tree coverage. And that won't really happen with perforatum, just punctatum. So, but I have noticed that once this does get some sun, it does thrive a lot more, because overall, St. John's wort is a sun-loving plant, and that's really what it's kind of known for. Is it likes solar infusions. It helps with SAD, which is the seasonal affective disorder, which is like a lack of sun, you take this and it actually helps balance that mood. Oh, I've got these gnats. We call them nuggets because I think my husband thought they were called nuggets. English is his second language, and so he thought, I think maggot and gnat equals nuggets, so we call them nuggets. So I got nuggets, and chickens pecking my toes, and nuggets trying to go in my eyes. So bear with me. It's the South in summer at its finest. So alright, now she's scratching my notes. I had notes because this is such a great plant and it does so much that I really often, like, I do a big long video and then I go, oh my god, I can't even believe I didn't talk about XYZ. So I just made like bullet points because I definitely want to cover everything. So let me get to it. So what would you use this plant for? Well, wound healing is how I got into this plant. I have a friend who had a really bad wound that wouldn't heal for years, and the nerves to that area, oh, you hear that in the background? So I live in an arts center. We own Mountain Arts Center in Gatlinburg, and we have a knife shop that does hand forge, and they do forging classes and stuff. So they must be doing forging classes out front. So that's what that clinking will be. Chickens, nuggets, clanking on the forge. All right, it's getting, the plot thickens. So wound healing, St. John's wort is really good for healing wounds even when the nerves have been severed to that area. And so pain is a good thing because pain sends a signal to our brains, and then our brain in return goes to our immune system and sends antibodies and white blood cells and wound healing properties to that area to heal the wound. So what happens is if your nerves have been severed or damaged in that area, that's not sending the signal to your brain, and that process isn't taking place. So St. John's wort can actually work around that. So my friend had a wound, the nerves were severed, it wasn't healing for years, skin grafts, all this stuff wasn't working. So I made an infused oil, we mixed it with yarrow and cayenne. Yarrow's great for like, first of all, keeping that like seepiness out of it, but it's very antimicrobial and it's a great healer. It's called Achillea millefolium because like they say that it was used on the battlefields for like the Achilles heel. I don't know, there's like a reason it's called that. But I didn't use comfrey in that particular one. Comfrey is an amazing tissue restorative, cell regenerator. But if the wound is really deep and it's old, you don't want to put comfrey on something because it proliferates cells so fast that the danger is that it seals over with skin before it even heals the bottom of the wound, and that can cause even bigger problems, and you have just a festering wound. Now it's sealed over and you can't even get to it, so you'd have to like open that wound back up. You don't want to do that. So we didn't use comfrey in that particular blend. We just used yarrow. The cayenne was to draw circulation to the area, to draw new blood, and in turn cause healing to start taking place. Well, anyways, this blend worked excellent, and so St. John's wort was kind of like my introduction years and years ago to St. John's wort and wound healing. St. John's wort is more known for, it was used a lot like 10-20 years ago. It was kind of all the rage, you know, for depression, and especially, like I said, the SAD disorder where you're being deprived of sun and just fresh air and getting to go outside and vitamin D, and you really do start getting just completely depressed, and the days are short and you're just not feeling good and you can't get out of your funk. St. John's wort is indicated for that use and is excellent for that purpose. It does also balance hormones, so if you're dealing with depression or mood swings due to hormonal imbalance, it works really well with that. Because it's a very excellent liver, not tonic, it helps the liver metabolize things very, very quickly, which is good if you're trying to dump toxins or if you're like on a detox. This might be good just to keep your liver functioning very fast, metabolizing things very quickly and dumping toxins for you, but at the same time that can cause an issue because if you're on pharmaceutical drugs and you need those drugs to keep you healthy, like calcium channel blockers is one that's affected by this. statin drugs, different heart drugs. Let's see. There's a big long list of them, and I'm not sure which ones are affected and which ones are not. You would have to look up your particular drug. But anyways, the liver metabolizes out the pharmaceutical drugs so quickly that your prescription isn't able to have an effect on your body, because it's not even in your system long enough to have an effect on your body. So that can cause an issue. That's kind of like one of the only issues really that arises with using St. John's wort. So you need to look, if you're on pharmaceutical drugs, you need to look up your particular one and see if it's contraindicated, if you should not be taking it at the same time as you're taking St. John's wort. So just be careful with that. That's really the only warning I have to say. But again, because it's a good liver, it helps your liver function, then you're dumping toxins, you're dumping excess hormones, and that's helping your body. Anytime your elimination organs are working better, your whole body's going to work better, because that's where a lot of disease stems from, is just having garbage in your system that you're not metabolizing out. So this is a good one just to keep all of that going. I do make another thing, it's called Herbal Detox. It does not have St. John's wort in it, but it same thing. I make it for like insomnia, even sometimes you just have so much excess hormones or stress, the cortisol and adrenaline. Just keep those eliminating organs functioning so that your overall health is affected in a good way by that. Also, St. John's wort is very antiviral. That's really good for a lot of like cold sores, canker sores, herpes, or a lot of other viruses. Not every virus, obviously, under the sun, but if you have a virus, it's good just to try. Because I don't have like a list of like viruses that are affected by it and viruses that aren't, but as in a general sense, this is very antiviral. So I mix it with things like lemon balm. That is lemon balm is Melissa officinalis, very antiviral. Japanese honeysuckle, very antiviral. It's the Lonicera japonica. I like to mix it with Usnea barbata, the lichen. I've done a video on that if you want to learn about that. What else? There was something else I had in mind. Antiviral. Melissa. L-lysine is a supplement that I use when I have viruses. Even like Wort's virus, I got rid of warts internally by taking L-lysine. And what I just mentioned, it was St. John's wort. Well, I'm watching my chickens. I'm so sorry. I'm like blanking out today. I'm tired. St. John's wort, Japanese honeysuckle, and L-lysine is what I took. And now I'm giving my kids, they've all got like this little wart virus going on. But also if you have really bad canker sores or cold sores, you'd also benefit from that. So take it as a tincture. When St. John's wort got really popular for depression, they started just isolating the hypericin and hyperforin, which are the two like active ingredients that help you with things, depression and things. So they started isolating those like they always do, you know, and they didn't consider the rest of the plant has a lot to offer and is supposed to be working synergistically with those two active compounds. And when you isolate it like that, it's just not as effective, and things can, you can start having side effects. So I always recommend just do a whole plant. I use whole plants for everything. I don't do essential oils at all. Maybe to like put in a cream or a salve or something, but I'm not all about that. I'm about whole plant medicine, because all of the constituents found in a plant are made to work together synergistically to help the body go through whatever it's going through. When you start isolating things, whether it be an essential oil, I'm going to get so much backlash for that. People who know me just know I don't ride that train. So whether it be pharmaceutical drugs or whenever you're isolating compounds of a plant, you're going to lose all the benefits of the rest of the plant. So I don't use those, and I don't recommend them, and I don't teach about them. Talk about essential oils. Okay, hate mail. I hear it coming. Hate mail. Just, it's okay. You can do your essential oils. I won't get mad. So, let me see. Nerve restorative. It does just work, like I said, it works on wounds that have nerve damage to them. It also just works on nerves. It's very good nerve restorative. Even if you have neuropathy, um, or you were in a car wreck. It also works on deep, deep tissue. So not just like, oh, I have a scratch or something like that, but like I was in a car accident. I wasn't in a car accident, but say I was in a car accident and I have deep tissue um, lacerations, or the muscles torn, or extremely bad bruising. This will go and penetrate those deep, deep tissues and help restore them on the tissue level and the nerve level. So it's really good. When I infuse this into an oil, and I do have a video. Like specifically on St. John's Wort, where I showed how to make a tincture out of it and how to make an infused oil out of it, and you can find it on my YouTube or my Facebook. And it was actually years ago, like 6 years ago I probably made it, but I showed you up close and personal how to do both of these things. So when I infuse it into an oil, it makes a beautiful blood red, rich color oil. I actually use that in some of my salves that I sell, and I also use it in the rose cream that I sell. And the reason I put it in my rose, it's a face cream, the reason I put it in that, number one, it's called rose cream, and the oil that it makes is red, because a lot of you know this, you plant people will all know this, but if this is your first exposure to St. John's Wort, this is actually a good way to tell if you have the right plant. Let me try to do this. We're kind of in not a drought, but we haven't had rain, so it's not super juicy right now. But when you rub this plant and it starts releasing its juice, it won't be green or yellow or clear or anything. It's like this beautiful blood red. So the oil that I make is, you know, just super blood red. And when I add it to all the other ingredients that are white, oh, it is, okay, let's see. It's just beautiful. It's like a red color. Oh, if it had rained recently and these were more full of, more juicy, I could show you this a lot better. You could just like drip it and it's just like, blah. Beautiful. Well, anyways, so the red oil mixed to the rest of my ingredients, it makes this lovely like pink color naturally. I'm not adding, you know, colorant or anything to it. It's actually just the natural color of the base, which is the St. John's Wort oil. But the reason I put it in a face cream is because it works very well on sun damage, wrinkling, like the discoloration and the sunspots that you get that are brown. It works on all of that to restore your skin from sun damage. Also, it works on hot, inflamed areas like from eczema or acne, or the scarring from acne or eczema. It works on that, and so it's just a wonderful thing to use topically as well as internally. And let's see, I don't typically dry this. Now, if you're going to go to an herb store, you're going to find St. John's Wort dried, and I just don't do that. It seems to lose its potency very quickly. People do make teas out of this, but I don't. I have never made tea out of this. I just don't do that. I take a tincture. It just seems like it's very active. It works well for us, and once you dry it, it just loses that. It won't even. You can't squeeze out the red hypericin at that point. You can't see the medicine. So I typically don't dry this plant, but what I will do, say I'm going to harvest this, if you have a ton of it, just pick off the little flowering tips. If you don't have a ton of it, you can go ahead and harvest like the top third and use the stem, the leaf, and the flower. And once you do that, it's actually really cool. It if you do it early enough in the season, like right now it's mid-July, and this plant goes all the way till frost. If you clip it, it will branch out again and bloom again. And so I do the same thing with this all right here is Lobelia inflata, which is amazing medicine. One of my friends, I'll do a video on her too. So Lobelia is, I don't know why, they seem to love to grow together. So all over my woods, all deep in the woods, all in my flower beds, in my garden growing up, these two must be like buddies and friends because they like to grow together. But I do the same thing with Lobelia. I cut it and because it will be like one tall spike a lot of times, and really I want the flowering heads, and especially I want the seed pods, because that's where all of the lobeline is at. So this is another video for another day. Sorry, reverse. Anyways, when you clip something, oftentimes early enough in the season, it will grow new, and you'll have a second harvest, or even sometimes a third harvest. That was only my point of that. It's something I do with both of these. So you will harvest this, and again, I have a whole video on the second portion of what you would do with that. So I just wilt it a little bit if I'm doing it into a solar infused oil, or I don't have to wilt it if you're just going to do a tincture, and you would use like 80 to 100% proof vodka. Oh, nugget in the eye. Here we go. And here comes Rose again. So watch that video. Oh, nuggets and chickens. Y'all falling apart over here. Watch that video, because it's like a 12-minute video, I think, and I show you exactly the steps of how to make both topical use oil and internal use tincture. And it's just a great plant to get to know. And I wish I had a better way of showing you close-ups, but that is what it is. So anyways, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, just let me know. There's usually questions that I haven't covered. I'm sure I'll get plenty of the hate mail for the essential oil comments. That's okay. I can take it. I have 4 kids. And you guys enjoy your day. Thanks for watching.